Welcome to Matters Financial and Geopolitical from a Frontier. Trust you had a great weekend, and I thank you for stopping by. Political reflections: the Queen is to be evacuated if Brexit turns ugly. British officials have revived Cold War emergency plans to relocate the royal family. Hopefully not with Prince Philip at the wheel. Relocate the royal family should there be riots in London if Britain suffers a disruptive departure. Alex Tomo tweeted, "Plan to evacuate Queen in some kind of no-deal Brexit scenario. Sound realistic planning or Project Fear disappearing into the realms of parody? You choose," he says. The Venezuelan general is urging the military to disavow Maduro as the opposition staged rallies over the weekend. August last year, I'd mentioned the fact that Trump seems to be relishing his financial warfare strategies. At that time, Nicolas Maduro was being attacked by a remote-controlled drone. This is the footage of the Air Force General pledging his allegiance to Juan Guaido. 8th of May 2017, I'd said that Venezuela is at breaking point, but the nature of breaking points is they can take a long time to play out. This photograph is really powerful, from 1961, George Tames, The Loneliest Job. 2 intelligence officers even reported that they've been warned to avoid giving the president intelligence assessments that contradict stances he has taken in public, reports Time. After a briefing in preparation for a meeting with British Prime Minister Theresa May, for example, the subject turned to the British Indian Ocean territory of Diego Garcia. The island is home to an important airbase and a US naval support facility that are central to America's ability to project power in the region, including in the war in Afghanistan. The president, officials familiar with the briefing said, asked 2 questions: are the people nice, and are the beaches good? Then Trump pointed at the map and said he knew that Nepal was part of India, only to be told that it is an independent nation. When said he was familiar with Bhutan and knew it too was part of India, his briefers told him that Bhutan was an independent kingdom. The East African community commended for boosting regional economies as President Kagame takes over as chairperson. This is from State House, Kenya. My piece over the weekend was seeking to draw some connections between Venezuela, Iran, and the DR Congo. I started my week interviewing the Portuguese writer Maria João Lopo de Carvalho about Luís de Camões and her book, which followed his 16th century journey from Portugal to Macau via boat, which stopped at the Cape of Good Hope, Mozambique, Mombasa, Malindi, Oman, Hormuz, Goa, Sri Lanka, Malacca. And through Maria, I was introduced to the poetry of Camões, who am I now discovering. Time changes and our desires change. What we believe, even what we are, is ever changing. The world is change, which forever takes on new qualities. And in that intrepid spirit of Camões and of casting our eyes wider and toward far horizons, I wanted to look at 3 fluid and fast-moving scenarios. Let's start with destination Caracas, Venezuela. Here, years of sanction warfare, and the last article I wrote was August 2018, Trump seems to be relishing his financial warfare strategies. Maduro in Venezuela has been attacked by a remote-controlled drone. accompanied with rank mismanagement, has brought the country to that Hunter S. Thompson brink. The edge, there is no honest way to explain it, because the only people who really know where it is are the ones who have gone over. If one accepts that access to oil defined 20th century empires, and the petrodollar agreement was the key to the ascendancy of the United States as the world's sole superpower, America's war machine runs on, is funded by, and exists in protection of oil. Threats by any nation to undermine the petrodollar system are viewed by Washington as tantamount to a declaration of war against the United States of America. The Chavez Revolution was always a rebellion in the superpower's backyard, and the machine was eventually going to bring it to heel by hook or by crook. The Oriental Review's Andrew Coribico headlines his article, "A Venezuelan Coup Could Challenge OPEC Plus and Build Fortress America," and he writes, "Russia and China aren't capable of directly defending Venezuela, even though they've voiced their support for international law. And their real national interests rest with ensuring that Caracas repays its billions of dollars of loans to them and respects the energy and military deals that were previously signed, despite not having any way of guaranteeing that will happen if Maduro is overthrown. Therefore," this is Andrew, "the most likely international outcome of his ouster would probably be that the Washington-backed coup authorities would declare those deals null and void, after which they'd likely open up the world's largest oil deposits in the Orinoco Belt to US companies. The long-term repercussions are that the US could challenge Russia and Saudi Arabia's OPEC Plus alliance and advance its Fortress America geopolitical project in the Western Hemisphere. Maduro is, I am afraid, going down, just like Muammar went down, and as did Saddam. Last week also marked 40 years of the Islamic Revolution, where the mercurial, enigmatic, and often cryptic Ayatollah Khomeini returned from exile to Tehran and upended the once fabulous peacock throne of Shah Reza Pahlavi, who spent his final days looking out to sea in Panama because none of his erstwhile allies would give him safe haven. For 40 years, the US has sanctioned Iran, and as long as he fought the Ayatollah, Saddam lived. As much as Chavez's Bolivarian revolution was to American hegemony, so has been Khomeini's and now Khamenei's Iran. Barack Hussein Obama tried to recalibrate things, but that was a momentary counter-trend moment. Clearly, the US has ratcheted up the pressure, but the theocrats have held firm, and Europe threw them a bone last week with the special purpose vehicle designed to facilitate essential commerce, food, medicines, and the like, via trading in euros. What explains Tehran's resilience? It is a prize that remains beyond Washington's grasp for now. Finally, events in the DR Congo, whilst oil and the petrodollar economy underpinned US power projection, the DR Congo, with an estimated 60% of cobalt supplies, possibly the new oil, might well represent the future. In an extraordinary plot twist, President Kabila invested a losing candidate, Felix Tshisekedi, with the presidency, and the US hardly raised a murmur. I think the most startling thing is how quickly we have shifted from a discussion about the integrity of the electoral process to sweeping all these very serious and credible allegations of electoral fraud under the carpet, said Jason Stearns of the Congo Research Group. And I concluded by saying maybe Dan Gertler is the puppeteer in Washington and that the White House is very transactional. This is a photograph of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini arriving in Tehran after returning from exile on the 1st of February 1979.